and my old man complied. On Saturday, we went to buy the cassette, and after that, he was going to drop me off at the party. The only problem is that when we got to the store, the Don store was closed. The guy who was working there just thought of going out, and he left a sign that said, "I'll be back in an hour." So that's when the debacle began. Because my dad told me that instead of waiting there, I should go with him to do an errand. An errand? He had an errand, which commitments also tell him about. He said, "Look, I have a commitment, so I think we can manage to do this commitment that I have." According to him, we would have more than enough time because parents have a different notion of time when it comes to the rest of us. Don, parents transform into Christopher Nolan? Well, they play and compress time as they please. For the crack, I had to agree. What was I going to say? I had to agree to his commitment. The commitment consisted of go fetch a lamb in Matrenko. But my daughter smells it. Commitment. I had to go look for a lamb in Matrenko because they were offering it cheaper. So it was an opportunity that I couldn't pass up because my dad, apart from making barbecues, dedicates himself to slaughtering animals and dealing with animal parts. Then it suited Matrenko. It's a few kilometers from Temuco, so I trusted that we weren't going to take so long. And I said, "Okay, let's go. Let's go get the lamb while this crappy store opens while the person returns." We had to go look for Don Nestor Carcamo, a teacher who worked with my dad and was going to help him move the lamb, tie him up and all that. Don Nestor Carcamo was missing a finger. I knew him since I was a child. I knew him with all his fingers. But he amputated a finger with a saw. And he didn't find a better way to tell me about his accident, pretending to eat his own finger. I mean, I was very young. I was about 6 years old back then. He approached me. I knew that he had all his fingers, and he acted like he was eating a finger, and I fainted on the spot. I fainted in that case and died of the impression of seeing an adult eat his own finger. Then they had to explain to me that it was all a joke and that he had amputated himself. Don Nestor Carcamo, the one missing a finger. On the way back, it was assumed, after going to look for the lamb, it was assumed that we were going to buy the cassette, and then I was going to go to the party. We went to look for the lamb. When my parents separated, my mom got the car, the 88 Chevrolet Aska. My dad had to buy an 83 Honda Accord Red, a car that was falling apart just like his life. We arrived at Matrenko to a plot where a seller was waiting for us with the little lamb tied to a tree. Fortunately, the transaction was quick, without any fuss, without so much conversation. Don Nestor Carcamo, the one without a finger, and my father tied the legs of the little lamb and put it alive in the luggage rack. The car's layout was the little lamb in the luggage rack, my father driving. Don Nestor Carcamo, the one without a finger as the co-pilot. He couldn't ride in the back seat because at age 50, he was already obviously overweight, and the front seat couldn't be moved.